Previously on the epic LEGO City policeman adventures. So, we're a policeman, but if we're feeling a little bit wacky, we can be a criminal or a miner. Oh, and we also joined a gang, stole a gun, and then a huge emerald. So in other words, we are being an atrocious police officer. So, we needed to, of course, take just a little break from all the action and take a bunch of photos for this guy's Instagram page. Remember that gang that we joined before we joined the better, more fancy gang? Well, we need evidence against the gang that isn't fancy. And that's where the cameras come in! But first, I need to go AFK for a while. I don't know why, but it's safe to say the locals weren't pleased with me in the slightest, and I'd cause more neighbourhood disturbances when I would casually listen in on people's conversations. I jumped up onto this little tower thingy and then snapped some fancy photos for my Instagram page, using the information that I had gathered from listening in on people's conversations. But this one photo wasn't good enough. It wasn't the right angle I desired. I wanted to aesthetically position the gang members in front of this stolen car! Oh yeah, that car is stolen, by the way. So I got in a little closer. A little, too close, maybe. Because after taking the photo and sliding it into the police chief's DMs, they started chasing after me. But that didn't matter to me, because I was brilliant at beating people up! And then I stole the car that the gang had stolen. And I'm apparently supposed to be the good guy here. Ring ring, who's this? Oh yeah, the guy whose gang I just busted. All of the other gang members went missing. Huh, weird, I know. So he asked me to go to this pier because, I mean, everyone else in his gang were gone! Obviously I wasn't in a hurry though. I mean, I had to do a few tricks along the way. So I shot these rings, and then I jumped onto this fella's boat. Did a few tricks, and BAM! You've arrived on this island, called Apollo Island. BAM! Gang leader called me again. Do you want to know what he wants me to yoink from this island? A blimming moon buggy! I'm sorry, what? So can I just reiterate for a second, okay? In the LEGO City universe, Chase McCain is still an amateur in this fella's gang. Additionally, we are technically enrolled in two gangs at once. One gang controls this chap's gang, so surely that means that I'm technically higher up than this lad is. But even ignoring that, I am still an amateur! So why are you sending me to some dodgy island on this dodgy boat to go steal a moon buggy? What's the reason? You're planning on launching like a LEGO City space program or something? Oh wait, that already exists. Although honestly, if I can steal this monstrosity of a space vehicle with no resistance, stealing a moon buggy should be pretty easy, right? Well, of course it would go swimmingly, as I get to play dress up as an astronaut. So now I can get my atoms squished into mush through this teleporter. And look at this! Oh, I'm super happy with this. As an astronaut, I get a gun! Look at this little loot box, where I have to play a game using my controller to unlock something, which is quite close to what I'm doing in real life too. Playing LEGO City Undercover to unlock some excuse of enjoyment. I casually constructed a wall, painted it blue, then after leaping across buildings, I teleported into the space center. Okay, so quick update. You know how I said taking the buggy would be easy? Well, about that. The moon buggy is sort of, inside of the blimming rocket ship! Dude, I know! 1 minute I'm just casually taking pictures, the next I'm stealing space equipment for a gang that prior to this has appeared to have little to no interest in going to blimming space. These chaps strolled up to me and they were all like, "You're not supposed to be here." And my response was violence and arresting them for doing their job. Once again, may I remind you, we're supposed to be the good guy. So it's time for some more gaming. And that gaming produced a teleporter. The fact that this teleporter was teleported to me seriously makes you question the effects these machines must have on my friend Chase McCain's body. So that yoinked me up here, where I built some photos and built a blimming rocket. It's a little bit downscaled, but whatever. And that rocket crashed into the ceiling to produce another box to fuel my gaming addiction. What's the price here? Bricks for a color swapper. So after assembling and swapping the color of my color gun, I shot this panel and the door upstairs opened. Same process as the other side. I broke a few things, made a bit of a photo, then destroyed one of these fancy emblems to craft into the literal floor. And by golly, Chase McCain must have a six-pack because this battery does not look like it's light in the slightest. By slotting this battery into its wacky little slot, this teleporter was activated. So this teleporter can also teleport items apparently, which makes me question how this dynamite didn't blow up inside of the teleporter, but sure, whatever. So after blowing up another door, I was finally greeted with some Space Center employees, of which I took the personal liberty of dismissing them from all their employment. Then I smashed up all of their belongings in search for these things. I think they're batteries, but I genuinely don't have a clue. And after slotting them into their allocated positions, I teleported onto the roof. Look at this diagram of the solar system. It's just like real life. Oh, let's pull this lever why don't we? Ah yes, if the planets spin too fast, everything explodes! Which, I'm no scientist, but I think in a very simplified manner, that's technically not false. Regardless, I scaled my way up this chain and was greeted by the overwhelming sight of a literal space rocket. Oh, what's this? BAM! More lasers! Except this time they don't kill you if you touch them. Instead, they're just ways of charging up these generators. So as we learned from when we robbed a bank... Oh yeah, we did that, by the way. Remember, I'm supposed to be a police officer. Where did that emerald even go? We did genuinely just help a robbery. Existential questions aside, I shot a few things silver so the lasers would reflect into the generators. I also played a few games to help myself out here and there, and then got the moon buggy like one of them blimmin' crane games at an arcade. So I hopped onto the roof again in order to force the crane arm to drop the moon buggy, which apparently the employees didn't mind in the slightest, and I was able to effectively drop the buggy, and break it. But it's fine! It's Lego, remember? I just rebuilt it! So now I needed to rush back outside and give the buggy to Chang's men. Oh, whoops. I suppose he forgot to mention that his men aren't even on the island yet. So I was left on my own for a solid minute, having to outrun security, which probably would have been quite easy if I didn't throw myself into an alleyway. But his men arrived eventually, and so after testing if the moon buggy was a water buggy a few times, we slapped it onto a boat and then left. What did we gain from this robbery? Absolutely nothing. No new information was gained, aside from the fact that in this universe, astronauts can canonically have more weaponry than police officers. Oh, by the way, remember that billionaire we drove around in that limo? Yeah, I didn't either, but apparently he got himself into a bit of a pickle, which I didn't really care about, but the police chief does, and considering this man signs my wages, might as well do what he says. Though considering all the stuff I've done in this game already, I'm pretty certain McCain here is literally just above the law. You know who else is above everyone else? The billionaire guy! Because he's being held hostage literally on top of a roof. So I rushed to go rescue him. No clue how he didn't recognize me though, because my attire literally hadn't changed at all since I drove him around the city. So these like ordinary citizens just strolled out and started trying to beat me up, which was honestly quite unreasonable, as all I wanted to do was game. But unfortunately, they didn't see it that way, so I enforced my kung fu expertise on them. Sidestep! Back thrust! Hey man, I've got this new move! It's pretty! Fly! Whoa! Watch where you're sticking your head, my friend! And then, I jumped off the building, trying to do this jump, but missed! And I'd fall off the building quite a few times. Once again, somehow not breaking my legs from the fall. Damn, talk about brutality, jeez. Let's hope this guy does break his legs from the fall, though. I mean, this chap here surely looks like he broke something. Maybe not his legs, but possibly his freedom. So after beating up more innocent civilians for hating billionaires, I freed the Forest Blackwell person. And once again, I got nothing out of it. He didn't even give me like a % of whatever huge company this guy probably runs. He's just all like, drive me to the police station, peasant! So after he destroyed my hopes and dreams of becoming rich, I got a call from the love interest of the game. And guess what? She's in trouble. Perfect time for me to slide into her direct messages. And also, perfect time to slide into a junkyard that she's being held hostage in. That's probably a good idea. But of course, the annoying phone lady was obviously jealous. So she sent in 2 other dudes to come help me out. And also get me a new disguise as well. Because I'd be rescuing my love interest from that gang that I joined and then busted and then stole a moon buggy for, while also holding evidence against them. Why does this gang still exist, may I ask? Their security is so atrocious. I've only been under them for like, what, 2 days? And I've already arrested half of their men. Anyways, I give to you these pair of idiots. Money Man and Blonde Guy. And just like Frank, they suck at driving. Why can no one in the city drive properly? I don't know. Oh, and also, check out the disguise they gave me. I know! It's so good, it made my hair disappear! So the 3 of us all strolled into this junkyard in order to rescue the love interest. But you know how those disguises were supposed to hide us from the gang? Well, they recognized Money Man and Blonde Dude straight away. These guys are arguably on the same level intellectually as Frank. Oh yeah, get me a disguise is all well and good, but why didn't you get one for yourself, huh? So I chucked in an unhealthy amount of fossil fuels into this container, and then started rolling down in the deep in order to unlock this brilliant gate, and then BAM! I needed to roam the area in search of bricks in order to build this car crusher, which I did with ease. I lured this dog out of its guarding pose, eliminated this toxic water, and picked up a few bricks and pieces by just smashing stuff too. And due to this, I was able to make the car crusher. And it was such a shame that it had to crush this car. I mean, look at it. Such a classic model. But I didn't care, because that car's death meant I was making more progress to getting the love interest's phone number. So after doing some parkour along a splendid junkyard, I arrived at where the love interest was being held captive, and I needed to go rescue her. Although, on second thought, if she keeps underappreciating me like this, I think McCain will be forced to reconsider his romantic endeavours. But just like the foreshadowing of the moon buggy, in order to save Natalia, I needed to drop her the same way I dropped the moon buggy. But this time, hopefully not disintegrating her in the process. Good enough. And we stormed out of the junkyard victorious. Holy moly, can no one in the police force drive properly? So, Natalia, can I have your number now that I've literally been tracking down your father's whereabouts and the fact that I saved you multiple times? No! Sod off! Quite frankly, I don't blame her.